Hi, this is Chris Bentson, and it's time for another reSource Minute. This minute is the last of the year of 2019, last of the decade. And so I wanted to leave you with a thought. The world is changing very fast. Big will not beat small anymore. It will be the fast beating the slow. I ran across this quote. I loved it, and I think it really gives us some ideas as we think about entering 2020 and the decade ahead. So what are some things that we can do faster and be more nimble as practice owners? Number one on my list that's urgent is define your 2020 strategy. Spend some time before 2020 gets here to really think about not only how much you want to collect and produce next year, but how you want your culture to be, how you want your treatment modality mix to be, who you want on your team. Do you need to make any changes? Do you need to plan for any specific growth items that you want? Define your strategy, write it down. Very, very important. Two, I want you to review your onboarding process. You can be faster here, especially if you go all digital. If there's a piece of paper that's involved in your onboarding process, eliminate it in 2020. And that'll be a way to treat your consumer that wants to do everything digital better. I also want you to review 2019 and see how you ran as far as being on time with scheduled appointments. If you need to relook at your templates, if you need to get your team together or a consultant in, one of the number one things that you can do to build your practice is to run on time. Being not on time is a practice killer. Three, think about telehealth. What does that mean? I want you to think of it in terms of one of the most disruptive technical devices that every one of your patients has. It's called a smartphone. They want to use it to communicate with you by sending pictures, by texting, and voice. But texting and pictures are a way that you can eliminate some appointments, you can answer questions quickly, and so forth. Integrate telehealth. That telehealth industry is going to grow in the United States at 27% year over year, according to the experts. Start using that in 2020. I want you to ask if you can review your practice data real time. You all have practice management systems, but you all aggregate that data into an Excel spreadsheet or it's multiple reports. Is there a dashboard that you can use that your practice management system has that you haven't implemented? You know that we like Gauge. We don't have a financial interest in that company, but find a way to be able to look at your data in real time, hopefully on the cloud, so you can get to it anytime, anywhere, and look at it more frequently in 2020 than you did in 2019. And lastly, how fast do you share information with your team? I talked a lot about morning huddles in 2019 because we know that if you have a morning huddle, you're communicating quickly with your team about your strategy and anything that's going on in the practice with each other, with your patients. We also know that when we value practices that have a morning huddle, they outperform in every operational and financial metric. So these are some ways we think you can be more nimble. Many of you are big practices that have been the leaders in your marketplaces for a long time. But again, the winners are not going to be the big. They're going to be the fast in the coming decade. Have a great end of the year, and we'll see you next year.